So the year was 1992. I remember like it was yesterday. Images and Words from Dream Theater came out. 3 sides to every story from Extreme, Vulgar Display of Power from Pantera, and Marshall released this, A Little Too Late. So if you do not know what this is the Marshall JMP1, an awesome sounding preamp, a little late to the game. So obviously by 92, the 80s was kind of on the way out. Nirvana had arrived, we had Stone Temple Pilots, Pantera, all these different bands were coming around, and the JMP1 finally comes out. So unfortunately, with the 80s kind of on its way out the door, you also had Rack Gear seeing its way out the door. This stuff wasn't as cool anymore. Now, even though this came out pretty dang late in the game of everything, a lot of people still used it. I mean, Billy Gibbons was using one. You had Billy Corgan, Dave Mustaine, Dave Murray from Iron Maiden. A lot of guys heard this thing and they're like, it sounds great. And that's because it does sound great. It's got 12AX7 tubes in it. It's a preamp. It's pretty small. It's a 1U unit, so it's not big by any means. And it just sounds great. You know, as opposed to a lot of the other rack stuff that came out, none of those had low end. This thing has a nice chunky amount of low end and is pretty dang feature rich. Now you've got MIDI capabilities, foot switching capabilities, and what I think is one of the coolest things here, which I'll show you and how I'm gonna record everything, is this. Speaker emulated outs. Back in 92, baby, they had it all. So while I love the unit, there is one particular feature I don't really like, which is kind of the interface. I kind of like it, don't like it situation. So just let me show you. So here's what I'm talking about. This dial right here is everything. You control everything with that. So you want to adjust the volume, you click the volume button, which I like this. This is very intuitive, but everything is over here. Volume will go up to 20 randomly. Oh, gain up to 20, bass up to 6. Down to -6. That's all you've got. That stuff I think is a little funny. Why not make everything 20? But anyways, then you have your cleans, your channels, all that kind of stuff. But everything comes back to this. So it's by no means terrible, but you can tell the UI and modern rack stuff like the Axe-Fx right there has just come a long way. It's far superior, but this isn't bad. I mean, it's still pretty cool. All right, so all hooked up and ready to go now. And what's fascinating about this unit is that I'm running it direct into my interface. So no kind of power amp, no kind of speaker simulation, because it's all built in. So think about this. This thing is 31. Wow, I forgot how old I was. This is 31 years old. And the cab sim technology inside of it sounds pretty dang good. You know, I think compared to how advanced it is nowadays, this thing still sounds great. So here it is dry. Pretty good. Now that's the OD1. I'm going to go to the OD2 here in a second, which is a more saturated sound. It has cleans on it, and yeah, they exist. They're not my kind of cleans, but I guess that we're going to skip them. So on top here, I've got the Hall of Fame reverb. You know, it's like the reverb that everyone has in their drawer. And then I have the halo delay. So let's hit the reverb here for a second, because when you turn the reverb on, this thing really comes alive to me. mean, I think it sounds great. It sounds good. If this would have come out like 5 years earlier, if the technology would have been there, man, this would have been such a huge, huge thing. So turn the delay on. You got yourself a lead tone all of a sudden. Oh man, it sounds great. Now if you turn the OD2 on, it's more distortion, but... way darker, but it has kind of like that Def Leppard-y thing to it. And Les Paul. Alright gang, I think that will be it for us here today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I know this is not a deep dive into the full capabilities of this unit, but if I'm being honest, I don't know what all it can do. I use it for like 2 things. And it sounds really cool. I'm not sure how much they're going for nowadays, but definitely a cool and fun unit. Only kind of downside is, well, I don't know, the interface is both good, like the actual control panel is good, and I just wish it wasn't all on one knob. You know, that's really the only fallback. So if you want deep dive videos onto this, check out my buddy Michael Nielsen. Like I said, I got this one in a trade from the 80s rack master Michael Torn. He is just the man when it comes to this stuff. So anyways, I'm bouncing out of here, guys. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful start to your 2024. And yo, I'll see you all in the next video. Something cool coming up. Going to Glazier's tomorrow and shooting a bunch of stuff. So later, guys. Woo! Oh, do you really think I wasn't going to end it bluesy? 80s rack style?